Test, test. Test, test.
I'd like to call to order the September 18th, 2025 meeting of the Vernon Township Board of Ed. Mr. Slamb, you get a roll call?
Mr. Smaglio?
Here.
Mr. Contino?
Here.
Mr. Fisher?
Here.
Mr. Kraus?
Here.
Ms. Pellet?
Here.
Dr. Ross? Mr. Sweeney? Ms. Vaccarello?
Here.
Mr. Zimmerman?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. It's recommended that the board enter closed session for the purposes of discussing legal, personnel, and student matters. Can I get a motion?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
We are closed. And run into the...
Do we need this?
Thank you. It's recommended that the board return to open session. Can I get a motion?
Second.
From John, thank you. All in favor?
We're gonna do a, sorry, we do a roll call this time around because we took out the attendance.
Oh, I'm so sorry. We're going to do a roll call.
Sorry about that.
Mr. Slamb?
Mr. Catino?
Here.
Mr. Fisher?
Here.
Mr. Kraus?
Here.
Ms. Pellet?
Here.
Dr. Ross? Mr. Sweeney?
Here.
Ms. Vaccarello?
Here.
Mr. Zimmerman?
Here.
Mr. Semaglia?
Here.
We have a quorum. And additional attendance, Ms. O'Donnell?
Here.
Mr. Mendez?
Here.
And then I am also here.
Great. Item E, Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise and join me in the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item F, reading of your favorite part.
The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies in which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of the Act, Vernon Township Board of Education has called notice this meeting to be published, and adequate notice has been provided, and notice this meeting has been properly posted in accordance with the New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law. Just a quick note, the next public meeting is Thursday, October 16th.
Thank you. Item G, we are beyond excited and proud to announce Calista O'Donnell as our BOE student representative for this school year. Wait, there's more. Calista is a senior at Vernon Township High School this school year. She's been an active member of our theater arts program for the last 4 years. She is a 4-year member and officer of the Thespian Honor Society, serving as historian and now vice president. She has participated in the fall play on both the cast and stage director's hair and makeup team. Calista has also been a member of the spring musical cast and crew for the last 3 years. Additionally, Calista is a member of the BTHS chapter of the National Honor Society and is a member of the Les Chanteuses. Thank you. Choral program. In the past, Calista has run on the track and field team and played ice hockey. Outside of school, Calista is active in her church, including serving on the Basking Ridge Youth Group. Over the last 3 years, Calista has participated in multiple mission trips to Bristol, Maine to assist in the Community Housing Improvement Project. Calista always has a smile on her face. She is kind, caring, and always willing to help others in need. She positively contributes to the positive culture at Vernon Township High School and is going to be a great addition to add a student voice to the BOE. Her peers are lucky to have her representing them for the 2025-2026 school year. Congratulations, Calista. Okay, item H, approval of minutes. These are the minutes of the closed public session meeting from August 21, 2025, and the minutes of the public session meeting from August 21, 2025. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, John.
Second.
Ray. Okay, questions or comments? Anyone have any questions or comments about the minutes? Nope. Okay, can we get a roll call?
Mr. Fisher?
Abstain.
Mr. Kraus?
Yes.
Ms. Pellet?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney?
Abstain.
Ms. Vaccarello?
Abstain.
Mr. Zimmerman?
Yes.
Mr. Semaglia?
Yes.
Mr. Catino?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Great, thank you. Item I, the president's report. So many, maybe not everyone here, are excited to have school back in session. This week, our teachers and families have been participating in back-to-school nights, and we're off to a strong start. On September 3rd, we also celebrated the 50th anniversary of our high school with a special program featuring past and present administrators. I'd like to thank Acting Principal Nick Demsak and our own Carl Contino for making that event such a success. Tonight, we're going to hear 2 presentations, and I'm especially pleased to welcome our new student representative to the board. We already discuss that. And we look forward to having a student perspective at the table. That's a great segue to item J, which is our presentations. And our first one is from the Student Advisory Council and our senior class president.
Yes, so I'm excited to welcome the members of our Student Advisory Council to tonight's meeting. If you would kindly just join us at the microphone. These students represent the voices, perspectives, and leadership of our schools, and we're grateful to have them join us. I've invited them to introduce themselves and to share an overview of their goals for the 25-26 school year. We're looking forward to hearing directly from them and partnering throughout the year to ensure that the student voice remains the heart of our work. Welcome, and thank you for being here.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Natalie Orlando, and I'm the Student Council President this year. As a council, we've set two main goals to guide our work and make a positive impact on our school's community. Our first goal is to increase school spirit and community involvement. Our second goal is to give students a stronger voice in our school's decisions. Matt will discuss how we implement these goals this year. I'm looking forward to working together to make these goals a reality and create a memorable and meaningful school year. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Matthew Salentano. I'm the Vice President of Student Council. We have two goals set for this year. For goal one, we want to make it happen by expanding Student Council by adding homeroom representatives so everyone has a chance to be connected and involved. We'll also be met with regularly with class officers to share ideas and make sure each grade has a voice. On top of that, we'll be working with other schools in the district to coordinate Spirit Weeks, which will help build excitement and bring even more unity across our school community. Together, these steps will help us boost school spirit and get more people engaged in school events. And for goal two, we want to make sure students really feel like their voices matter. To do this, we'll be collecting feedback through surveys and suggestion boxes so everyone has an easy way to share ideas. We'll also bring those ideas to administration on a regular basis, making sure student perspectives are part of the conversation when decisions are being made. By doing this, we hope to build a stronger community between students, council, and staff, and make sure everyone feels represented. I just wanted to say, me and Natalie really thank you for being here, and we're excited to work hand in hand with you over the next couple months.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We appreciate it, and we're looking forward to the partnership, to both of you. Next, we are honored to recognize Luka Savytskyy. He is a remarkable student leader at Vernon Township High School. We are thanking him tonight for his thoughtful and inspiring remarks during this year's district convocation. Luka, your words were really inspiring to the staff. I can't tell you how many emails I received, and they said that the most memorable part of the convocation was just your tribute to them. So thank you so much, and thank you on behalf of our teachers. It really meant so much to them. Luka currently serves as a class president for the class of 2026. He's a proud member of the National Honor Society, participates in a wide range of academic and service-oriented organizations, including DECA, the Unified Club, the Model UN, and so many more things. This past summer, he traveled to South Africa to explore global cultures and challenges, demonstrating both leadership and global citizenship. So on behalf of the Vernon Board of Education and the entire school community, we thank Luka for representing the very best of Vernon and for reminding us all of what and why we do it. Thank you. I'm going to, You want to say a few words?
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. My name is Luka Savytskyy, and I'm the senior class president for the class of 2026. I'm honored to speak on behalf of my classmates and share our goals for this year. First and foremost, we want to support each other academically and finish strong as we prepare for life after school, whether that means college, trade school, or entering the workforce. We also hope to strengthen school spirit through leadership and activities that bring everyone together, such as pep rallies, theme spirit weeks, and community events. One of our biggest challenges is fundraising, which we have been dedicated to since 10th grade. Ultimately, our financial goals are to honor tradition with personalized senior signs displayed at graduation, keep prom and class trips affordable so every senior who wishes to attend has the opportunity, leave a gift for future classes, and support our school as a whole. Lastly, we want to thank our parents, guardians, and the entire district for their continuous support as we approach the next chapter in our lives. We are excited to make this school year both meaningful and memorable. Thank you. Sorry, everybody. Okay.
Okay, item JB, that's Mr. Gagliostro's presentation of the district graduation report.
Yes, so this evening, Mr. Gagliostro, our Director of Curriculum Instruction, is going to present the graduation report for the class of 2025. This presentation fulfills the NJDOE's annual reporting requirement for graduation outcomes. It will provide an overview of the total number of graduates in the class of 2025, how they met the state's graduation assessment requirements, and the number of students who were denied graduation, which is 0.
All right, great. Well, thank you, everyone. So just to start, to give a little background, there are 3 different pathways that students can take right now to graduate from high school in New Jersey. The first is to pass the NJGPA, which is the new assessment for 11th graders that started a couple of years ago. They can pass that, and then as long as they meet their credit requirements, they have met their graduation pathway. The second pathway is a sub-competency test. What that means is if some of our students haven't passed the NJGPA in either English or math, there are other tests they can take that qualify them to go through with graduation. PSAT, SAT, and the AccuPlacer. And then the third way, finally, if we have students who are not able to pass those tests, some students just aren't test takers, we have what's called a portfolio review. And the students go through a process of demonstrating proficiency in math and English through portfolio topics and samples, and we submit that to the state. And then the state goes through all of that and determines whether or not the student has shown proficiency and can graduate. Okay, so just a little background because you'll see all 3 pathways demonstrated here. Okay, so this is for our 2025 graduating class. Okay, so our total number of students graduating is 249. And then the students that graduated under substitute competency tests. So for English, we had 4 use that pathway. That means that they didn't pass NJGPA, but they qualified under one of those substitute competency tests. For math, we had 65 qualify through an alternate test. For portfolio appeals, we had 18 in English and 43 in math. The rest listed here are usually going through having to do with IEPs. So certain students, when they have IEPs, it may waive requirements such as state testing or have them go on an extra year. So this one says the number of students receiving state-endorsed high school diplomas by an alternate requirement through their IEP. We did not have any qualify through that manner. Like Ms. Mendez said, we had no students denied graduation, so the last 2 are 0. And just so you know, 249 is our number as of right now. October 15th, we have a snapshot, and that goes to the state data collection, and that's where it's certified. So usually it stays around there, but it may differ by 2 or 3 students depending on various things that occur, whether students are out of district, things like that, where they stay an extra year. Okay, so another update we got midsummer is that New Jersey Smart will no longer serve as the New Jersey DOE portal for data collection. The state is now transitioning to NJ Sleds. So it's a similar platform where we will upload all of our data every year. But in this transitioning state, we don't have access to any of our data that normally we could run to get our 4-year graduation cohorts, things like that, until it's all migrated over to NJ Sleds. So just keep that in mind. Everything's coming over, but some of it hasn't been certified yet because October 15th hasn't happened and we don't have access right now. Okay, these slides, all of these numbers are percentages. We broke down all of the graduation pathways for this past graduating year and last year for 2023 to 2024. You'll see some caveats here. The asterisks for 2025 VTSD, the NJGPA graduation pathway 1, they're based on our Pearson state assessment data. So that presentation I gave you all on the NJGPA showing our results, that's what those numbers are based off of because we have not gotten our school performance report yet. That does not come out until the spring. So these are based off of just our assessment data. Now, things that can change, just because we had 89.1% of our students pass the NJGPA in English, it doesn't mean that 89.1% of our students will use that as a pathway to graduate. Some students may transfer out, some students may drop out, some students may continue for a fifth or a sixth year in high school. So that number can vary by a couple of percentage points based on what happens. Also, you'll see for the 2025 state, there are a lot of dashes there. Again, that's because the school performance report hasn't come out, so we don't have the state numbers yet. The two areas for NJGPA, I got those percentages from the Pearson assessment data. So that is the passing rate for ELA and math and NJGPA. It's not necessarily the pathway graduation rate. Okay, that will be released this spring. All right, but as you can see, our graduation ready, all pathways is 98.7% for the class of 2025. Pathway 1 for NJGPA, for ELA, we had 89.1% students show their graduation ready, 65.2% in math, with the state being at 80.7% for English and 58% for math. For Pathway 2 for subcompetency tests, again, that's SAT, PSAT, or AccuPlacer for English. We had 1.7% of our population graduate via that means. And for Pathway 2 for this graduating class, we had 25.6% graduate in math. And then for for Pathway 3, which is the portfolio review, for English, we had 7.2% for the class of 2025, and 17.3 qualify for the class of 2025 for math. All right, and if you go back to 2024, you can see that compared to the state, we're in the ballpark. We're a little higher, but again, these are just means of graduating. Okay, so where we might be higher in some areas, we're lower in others. So it's really that total number on the top, what percent we had graduate overall. That's the big important number. We want that to be as close to 100% as we can get, which we are very, very close. Okay, and this is just some additional data that I was able to pull through with some of our post surveys of students when we're at graduation and gathering caps and gowns, any kind of information we can pull. So right now for the class of 2025, we had 68 students go to a 2-year college. We had 108 commit to a 4-year college. 32 went right into full-time employment. 7 committed to the military. 2 are doing a gap year. 18 went to a trade or technical school, and 6 were other or undecided at that time.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Thank you.
All right, great. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Are you mean you done with the presentation or?
Yeah.
Can you go back a slide?
Yeah.
Is your numbers correct for math?
For which one?
65, 25, and 17.
So 65.2%.
Oh, it's 25 and then 17. I think isn't it over 100?
No, so it doesn't, it could be a duplication of students. So that's just 65.2%, remember, you pass the NJGPA math, so they can use that as a pathway to graduate. Okay, 25.6% of our population passed the subcompetency test and could use that. So there can be duplication of students in these areas.
They took both of them?
Right. So they could, all of our 10th and 11th grade students take PSAT. We give it. So this is where they qualified and where they could graduate through. And again, these aren't certified yet. So on October 15th, this gets submitted to the state, it gets qualified again, and then we will get true numbers from the state when they reconcile everything. So this right now is me pulling from our Pearson assessment data, which is just how many kids passed. And it's also our internal Genesis data that showed where the students were able to pass. So it's really incomplete data because we had about 40 or so students who had multiple pathways that they could have went through, and they're labeled as other until the October snapshot occurs, and then we reconcile that. So that's why these numbers aren't part of the requirement to present at this meeting. It's usually just that first slide because we know exactly how many students it is. Because of that reason, the snapshot hasn't happened yet.
However, these were the questions that were raised during curriculum committee, and so then we integrated them into the presentation.
Right, right. So I know, Charles, I did the same thing, you know me. I went through and added it, I said, this doesn't make sense, and when I talked to our data specialist, I went through, that's what was explained to me.
And I just want to make sure, I mean, I'm sure this is happening. Well, English seems reasonable, you know, it's up there, we could probably, you know, obviously we all want to be 100%. But do we see a reason why the math is low? And if you look at the state average, it's low there too.
Right,
Right?
Right.
But if you take that also into consideration, that they pass the SAT, which is what you get in college, we're obviously learning math, right? So the kids are able to get to college still with the math that they're learning.
sure.
But why, is there any reason? Because the state's got to be having the same problem, right? Other districts are going to have low numbers as well.
Right, yeah, so the state average, like you said, is 58%. And again, that's me pulling right from Pearson, so those are the people giving the test. So, you know, when you're looking at an assessment, if I had only 58% of my class pass, it's definitely something I'd be looking into. You know, we've put in interventions to support our students. You know, that's why you can see in 2024, we had 56.4% pass. And then this year we had 65.2. So obviously those things are working. So we're looking on how to incorporate more of that. But, you know, it was 2 years ago, it was a brand new test. Then we got more familiar with it. So we're learning what's on the assessment. It's primarily, you know, the Algebra 2 geometry area. So we're focusing on those for support. We're also looking at various areas of our curriculum to make sure we're covering it prior to testing. You know, that's another part of this. These are taken in April, May, and we go to June, right? So making sure we're covering concepts that'll be tested beforehand is important. So we adjusted our curriculum. So these are all things we're taking into account to try and get those numbers up.
Yeah, I appreciate it because I see, if you go last year, you know, it is a great improvement.
Right, right. But you're right, 65 isn't where we want to be. We definitely want to keep pushing.
And I forgot, I think you mentioned it. Is this the same test this year, or is a new test, right?
There's a new test.
And now it will change again.
Yes, so
These
then we
numbers are no
will,
good after this presentation, right? Okay,
yeah, so we will see, once we get more and more information about that, we will be sure to share.
okay, thank you.
I just want to point out that as a graduation requirement to pass math, 91% of our students pass math. The GPA math test has to be poor as far as a test goes. If the entire state can only pass it at 58%, but if we're saying that graduation requirement math, that they know math through these other tests, they still 91% of our kids pass math. So I think I should look at it that way, in a more positive light, rather than, oh, we didn't pass math. We did. We passed 91% of it.
Right, and also if you look at it overall, 98.7% of our kids met a math requirement that they needed to meet.
Right.
You know, so that, you know, Charles is right, that assessment, we need to come in on more and the concepts that are covered within it. But absolutely, John, let's celebrate the
Sure, the
positive.
numbers are great, I think.
Okay, anyone else? Questions?
Right.
Thank you so much.
Thank
I have
you.
one more question.
Oh, yeah.
Who does the portfolio review? Is that the district or?
Yes, so the
Teachers
district
do that.
gets it together and works with the students, but we submit it to the state and they review it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
State
yeah.
has the final word on it?
Yes, yep. All right, thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Duck under this light.
You got duck a little bit.
It's in my eyes. Okay. Oh, I get to read the board goals now, okay. Fun. All right, item K, buckle in, guys, this is long. Approval of board goals, 2025, 2026, and committee alignment. Before I start, I do want to clarify up front that while we did list the committees adjacent to each of the relevant board goals, we are not changing our standing committees or our committee structures tonight. That conversation will take place at an upcoming board retreat. And I also want to state, because I got a call from someone who looked at a text from someone who looked at the agenda today, these goals are in no particular order. The fact that the last goal has to do with student success does not mean it's the least important thing on our list. So, board goal 1, board governance and leadership development. and this will go to the Governance and Policy Committee if we end up forming one. By June 2026, the Board of Education will strengthen its governance effectiveness by becoming a certified board, establishing a mentorship and onboarding program for new members, and participating in a board retreat and collaborative training sessions with the superintendent. The board will implement structures to assess the impact of new practices throughout the year, fostering continuous growth and alignment with best practices in board leadership. Board Goal 2, strategic plan, and this would go to the Strategic Planning Ad Hoc Committee if we form one. Following the adoption of board and district goals in October 2025, the board will lead the launch of a collaborative strategic planning process by authorizing a timeline, ensuring opportunities for community input, and adopting a final strategic plan by June 2026 that reflects shared district and board priorities. Board Goal 3, communication, and this would go to the Community Relations Committee and Partnership Committee if we end up forming one. By June 2026, the board will strengthen communication with the public by ensuring consistent community updates and improved social media presence in coordination with the district. The Community Relations will set communication goals, monitor progress, and provide regular updates at board meetings to ensure that parents and community members are well informed about district programs, offerings, and priorities. Board Goal number 4, Finance and Facilities. This will go to the Finance and Buildings and Grounds Committee. By the conclusion of the 2025-2026 budget development cycle, the board will engage in proactive fiscal and facilities planning by working through the Finance and Buildings and Grounds Committee to assess long-term capital needs, ensure alignment with educational priorities, and explore options, including the potential need for a future referendum to address major facilities improvements. And Board Goal number 5, Student Success, Health, and Well-Being. This goes to the Curriculum Committee. By June 2026, the board will advance its commitment to student achievement and well-being by prioritizing oversight of efforts that promote academic growth, inclusive learning environments, and student health. Through its committee structures, the board will regularly review progress in curriculum, instruction, assessment, and student support systems, and will collaborate with the superintendent to ensure district priorities reflect a whole child approach. Okay, so we are voting on the goals tonight, so does anybody, we need a motion, right? Okay, can I get a motion to vote on these goals? Okay, John and Carl, thank you.
Don't we, you have this committees in there?
Yeah, do we have to amend to take off the committee list since that's not going to be voted on tonight? Can we?
Technically, the motion says we're voting on board goals 1 through 5.
Okay, good, yeah. Okay, great. So questions, comments on the goals themselves? Concerns? I know we did talk about them at the last meeting, but a few people weren't here, so do we have any?
I'm just really glad we're doing strategic planning. Want to throw that in there.
Exciting. Okay, if we have no questions or comments, can we get a roll call vote?
Mr. Fisher?
Yes.
Mr. Kraus?
Yes.
Ms. Pellet?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney?
Yes.
Ms. Vaccarello?
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman?
Yes.
Mr. Semaglia?
Yes.
Mr. Contino?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Okay, item L, board reports. I am listed first, so curriculum committee report. The meeting was held September 16th. In attendance were myself, Carolyn Ross, John Kraus, Charlie Semaglia, and Ebony de Mendez. The committee reviewed the graduation report for the class of 2025, which was presented just before. The committee got an update on grant funding and progress addressing staffing gaps in world languages and ESL, including the use of proximity learning to address vacancies. The committee discussed the need to conduct a curriculum audit to evaluate the efficacy of curriculum, vertical alignment across grade levels, and identify areas of improvement. We also learned that the district has received a grant from the NCCER, yay, that will be used toward training and resources for the new electrical program, so that's exciting, and a proposal for a partnership between the Jersey STEM and Lounsbury Hollow for a Girls in STEM program that may allow us to introduce an after-school program at Lounsbury Hollow on STEM. And then ongoing items of discussion include the need to look more deeply at the appropriate use of AI in instruction and how best to incorporate educating students about AI into our programs. That's my report. So, John, you're up.
Okay, Finance, Building and Grounds. We met September 8th. The meeting was conducted online through Google Meet. In attendance were Ray Slamb, Joe Van Kirk, Evanita Mendez, myself, Brian Fisher, and Jennifer Pellet. All right, so we have a lease purchase for a vehicle replacement. So we're negotiating terms with First American based on the review of our board attorney. Mr. Slamb sent that back to them, and once an agreeable response is received, we'll proceed with the order process for the vehicles. 2, Water Infrastructure Improvement Grant. The deadline for this has been extended twice. We don't have anything currently that we can apply for, but there is an allowance to apply retroactively. One of the projects that may be eligible is the PFAS remediation project at Walnut Ridge, and we're going to apply and see if it's eligible. Our 2025-2026 audit, the auditors are in the district and the process has begun. When the state releases its information on pension liabilities, the auditors may need to come back one more day. School choice aid, a state aid rather. We received $204,682 in the current year. We have 13 seats and none of those seats are filled with children and staff members. There was a question about that. All right. We also had a question about the Special Education Medicaid Initiative, or SEMI. There was a question of the impact of Medicaid cuts and the reimbursements to the district for services. Essentially, if a student is no longer eligible for Medicaid, then the number of Medicaid reimbursable services and the related revenue would decrease. We have middle school after school bus. Instead of a shuttle, which we had previously discussed, Mr. Slamb worked with Ms. Brosder to implement a mileage addendum with the current high school buses. This cost $8,000, which was about $5,000 less than a shuttle would have cost. This allows the district to provide after-school busing at Glen Meadow. Okay, we're also talking about a public relations stipend. There was a discussion on whether or not this was already a paid position in the district, and it turns out it's not. The stipend will be $9,000 and would be to promote the Vernon Township School District through social media and other communication channels, to prepare and distribute press releases and articles to local newspapers and media outlets to highlight students, staff, and district achievements, to showcase Vernon's successes, and to attend major district events or coordinate coverage to ensure that they are publicized, to collaborate with administrators, to collect content and provide photos, to coordinate with district leadership to maintain consistent branding, positive messaging, and serve as a point of contact for community communication. I believe we're voting on that tonight, aren't we? I'm not, are we not? I'm sorry, okay, I thought, all right, it's, all right, it's upcoming. There was a question about the bid threshold. It's set by the state, and it's currently $53,000 for districts with a qualified purchasing agent, of which Mr. Slamb is one. And then it was also, we had a fee comparison about the use of our facilities. It was decided that we should keep our fee structure what it currently is. This was after a comparison with other districts, for example, Sparta, we checked with that, what they do. And then for buildings and grounds, we have our auditorium lighting is being replaced. We got quotes to replace and upgrade and discontinued light bulbs. It's going to cost $74,399.26 through the Ed Data Cooperative. This is something that wasn't budgeted for, but is a need that needs to be addressed. Mr. Slamb is moving some things around to pay for it. It is to rewire and retrofit house lights in the auditorium and to replace bulbs in the theatrical lights. Lounsbury Hollow partial repave. A prior vendor no longer has a contract with us, with a co-op. A new vendor quoted $103,875, which is $39,000 over budget. The Glen Meadow PA system. The equipment has been delivered and scheduling a vendor for installation. They're asking for $187,946 more for replacing the wiring for the entire system. There was a discussion on the amount of cost for rewiring the building and to why this was not considered with the original bid. We are trying to see if we can get that number down. I think we haven't gotten that far with it yet, right?
We're still working on it.
Okay, thank you. The Cedar Mountain reseal and restripe, we're going to postpone that until the year end or the next budget. Look into coordinating with the town engineer to do partial repave along the potential Walnut Ridge project. Restripe in-house to improve lot for current year and coordinate with town to fill current potholes. Vernon Township High School and Lounsbury PA systems. The recommendation is to postpone the Lounsbury PA system to fund the Glen Meadow PA system. change order and increased Lounsbury Hollow and VTHS elevator costs. One, this will be further discussed at the next committee meeting, and continuing to work with vendor on obtaining a quote for the high school PA system. And we're specifically asking vendor to complete more in-depth check of wiring during this process. The Glen Meadow well pump failed on September 2nd, which resulted in no water at Glen Meadow, a day or so before school was about to start. Contractor on site was the same day, water pump was not in stock, he ordered it and then received it, fix completed, and water restored by 1:30 on September 3rd, the next day. Very, very good. Okay. Lounsbury sewer stack, leak inside wet wall of the boys' bathroom. The water line and sewer line were leaking. Maintenance department repaired the water line, vendor repaired the sewer line. Fast response allowed 1 of 2 down bathrooms to be reopened for the first day of school. Maintenance repairing wall the night of September 4th and anticipate all the bathrooms open as of the 8th. I guess they're all open. Yeah. Okay, cool. Because, this was on the 8th we were talking about this. And the last one, Lounsbury Hollow and high school elevator projects. Explored cooperative options, however, none allow for the rehabilitation of elevators. And we're working with USA Architects to put together a bid strategy. And that's it. Anything else in progress stuff is all online. You can go look at all of that. That's my report. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Jenna, will you ask some questions or?
Yeah,
Sure, if you have questions.
Sure, absolutely.
ask away.
I 2 questions, unless I missed it. Have you guys talked about the advertisements on the fields yet?
It didn't come up in our last meeting. But,
Yeah.
I'm sure we can. I mean, maybe Ray can speak to that.
So I reached out to other PAs in the county to kind of see what they've been doing. I didn't really get any response. So my next step was to talk to our board attorney and to our auditor, who I've got responses back from them. I do have forms that I've put together that I'll be sharing for review. The next step is really, we essentially need to find a sign vendor in town that we would purchase the signs from. We would therefore be purchasing the signs, and we just have to determine what designs, the board has to determine what designs they want to be on those signs. And then we'd have to set what our amount per sign would be. So that's a discussion that we need to have. Those are the next steps.
Okay, I just want to it was, the board felt pretty strong about it for a long time, so I just want to see how we're making progress.
Yeah, it's a revenue generating opportunity we need to
Yeah.
keep pushing on.
And then the second question, John, was, you talked about the Glen Meadow PA system, 187K, right?
Yes.
And then, but my question is, okay, I know you guys had big discussion, we talked about it a little bit too.
Yeah.
Rolling Hills, you're saying now or Rolling Hills, or the other school that's going to be?
Lounsbury and the high school.
Lounsbury and the high school, so we're taking the money out of there, right? My question is, are we looking at alternatives? Because, I mean, if we're looking at the PA system, I guess, I don't know what the PA system looks like. I'm assuming it's similar to the old technology that's been in the building since the 60s, 70s, where it's on the wall. Can we do something cheaper? We have Ethernet cable going to all our computers. Teachers have desks. We look at the phone system or an alternative way to save that, because if we're 187K off of this because of wiring, even the projected cost that we would have thought the other schools were going to be are probably going to be up there again. And where we're going to get that money from.
Well, we're going to check the wiring in the other schools. I think that was one of the things that we're doing to make sure that they're compatible with whatever equipment there is. But the other end of that is if we have to rebid for all these other things, and we've already gotten the equipment in the buildings, and if we have to rebid, it's going to cost us a lot more money than what we're going to spend if we have to fix it.
Oh, the equipment's for
Yeah,
every
what you're-
building is
What
there?
you're speaking to is get an alternative way, but at that point, we'd have to stop this project, rebid, and we've wasted $100,000, $200,000.
No, not the money. We bought the equipment for for the high school.
No, I think just for Glen Meadow.
Yeah, not rebidding or
He's talking about the future projects.
the other
like
future
Lounsbury.
projects, like the high school in Lounsbury.
Well, I can't speak to that, I don't know. I
So-
don't know the answer to that.
It would depend on the wiring of each of those buildings. So 2 projects have been completed in previous buildings, or the wiring was fine and we just had to replace equipment. So I actually got some additional information from when we had our meeting. So essentially what it looks like is that at some point, a system was replaced in that building in Glen Meadow. But instead of running, I'm not an electrician, so bear with me. So instead of replacing the full wire when they did that, essentially back behind the wire they initially saw when they looked, and they thought that wire was like, oh, it's newer wiring, it should work. Behind that wire, and I think it's a 4-wire wire, if anyone has more electrician experience than me. So they had that spliced into an older wire back in, I think, a box in the back. I wish I had Joe here for this.
Yeah,
Buildings
right.
around. So they said, oh, we have 4 wires, we're good to go, right? They went back farther in. 3 of the wires were connected to older wiring back behind the wall, and the 1 wire just was capped off. So we don't have the 4th wire. Oh, sorry. So we're looking at if there's potentials for other options, potentials to save money. But essentially, the change order would be to pull 2 Cat 6 lines through the entire building. And the reason right now is 2 is because 1 would be for the traditional system, right? Which is, you have a call button in each room, you can call the main office, and then you have the PA system for the entire school, right? And then the second would be for future purposes, if we then wanted to put a phone in each classroom with that second Cat 6 wire, we would have the wire there so we could put a phone in that classroom, because right now there aren't phones in those classrooms.
Oh, there is, okay.
Yeah, not in Glen Meadow.
But we have Ethernet cable going into we don't have wireless for the computers, right? So you can usually piggyback, I'm just saying, look, there's an alternative, you don't have to answer, but you can usually piggyback off of the cable coming into the computer, right? You can put the phone between those 2 and then splice it out. You'll use 2 pairs for Ethernet, right? So
you
have
know
4
you knew more
extra,
about the pairs than I did.
So, and, phones need 6, they use a PoE, so they have a little extra, but I just want to make sure we're looking at other ways, because that's very expensive. And we set aside money, where we're going to come up with that money for the other 2 buildings. It's not so much, whatever happened, right? We're going to fix that, you're working on it, but the next 2, I'm scared these projects won't happen. It could be a tremendous cost. And I agree with you with the running 2 lines. When you have the people here, it's cheaper to run a second extra line than it is to have them come in the second time. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so, because that was one of the other things we looked at, what would be the difference in cost, for running that 1 extra line. And like you said, the main cost there is labor. So if they're pulling 1 versus 2, they're there the same amount of time. It was just the cost of materials, so it wasn't a significant difference. But right now we have technology, buildings and grounds, trying to all put our heads together, see if there's other options there. So far, we haven't come up with anything, but that doesn't mean that we won't. We're still working on it.
Okay. Thank you.
I asked about the phones too, by the way, about if there's another way we could just put phones in each room.
I figured somebody else had to say something.
Yeah, I asked.
Any other questions on finance? No? Okay. Charlie, you're up.
Okay, so I made a mistake on my notes. I forgot to take attendance. So I'm going to go by memory. It was myself, Brian, John, and Ebony. And we discussed a couple of topics that were up for review tonight for first agenda. We have, I'll just go real quick. We have 164 is the board conduct of the board meetings. This has changed to go align with the new format. Everything, the committee went along with everything the administration presented us, all the recommendations. I put the notes in we're using that new format, so I'm not sure if everybody saw it, but 173, this has to do with responsibility of the school accountants, and it's mostly revised codes that we're looking at. 174 addresses legal services, and revisions do not make any implications, do not change any implications for this. So this is basically we're all not calling a lawyer, right? So what procedures we follow when we have to make decisions with legal services. 177, it's kind of the same thing, professional services, is to minimize the professional service costs. A lot of updated codes in there. 1570, this is both a policy and It's to address state aid, receiving state aid and internal controls. In 1620, this is, we had a fairly, we had a little discussion about this one. Oh no, I'm sorry, it's the wrong one. The next one we did. This one is about, addresses requirements that the superintendent, assistant superintendent, we don't have one, and the business administration, it has to be overseen by the county superintendent for review. 1636, this is about new job postings. We had a discussion with our HR director, right? Supervisor? Manager, okay. HR manager. And actually, we've been following this procedure since the law has changed. So we were ahead of the game on this one. So she reviewed the policy and everything, we were following it all. So the policy recommendations obviously came from Strauss, according to the new statutes. 2422, this has to do with, well, this is tied to a Supreme Court case. Decision was released in June 28th. This is a case, Mandau versus Taylor. Right now, there's an injunction, and until a decision is made, the injunction is in place. 6111 is both again. This is steps to make the appropriate steps to maximize participation in the special education Medicare incentive program. A lot of this was just revised codes. And 6220 was a budget presentation information, some just revised codes there as well. And then record keeping for, this one is 1648.15. This was record keeping for healthcare. It had to do with COVID, so we're abolishing it tonight. And the star of the night would be our second reading for our AI policy. So no changes we've discussed in the meeting, and that was it. If anybody has any questions.
Gentlemen.
I like that we're abolishing COVID.
Don,
Yes,
we're doing better than
about
most,
time,
right?
right? Okay. No other questions on policy? All right, Mr. Fisher, technology.
Okay, so we had a technology committee meeting at Walnut Ridge on September 2nd at 4 p.m. And also virtual attendance. We had Jennifer Pellet, Charlie Samaglia, Carl Cantino, Vinny Gagliostro, Ebony Mendez, and myself. So the whole better part of the first part of the meeting, maybe even 3/4 of the meeting, was dedicated to a discussion about the fate of the technology committee, and ultimately we decided we were going to table that discussion until we have the board retreat. So I had a quick question. Have we decided when that is?
We were actually supposed to talk about that in executive, but we ran out of time. We have two dates, and maybe after the meeting, we can all kind of
Just
agree on a
curious.
date. Yeah.
Quick aside. So after the discussion, Nick Lasso made a number of comments. He talked about vetting resources, how we spend money, collaboration between department heads and himself, coordinating purchases, like, buying cameras from one company and then buying door access equipment from another. He talked about switching over our food services. He felt that he had switched to a more robust company with the ability to grow and the ability to give parents, I'm using the word ability, the ability to purchase other items through that same service. Door access control, they're still working to make the system better and to learn. And he also mentioned that we have new state testing coming up with an adaptive model, and that'll give us a better picture on how our students are learning and growing. He's going for training on 9/15. That's it.
He went for training, because that was in the past now.
Today's date.
Today is 19.
Isn't it the 18th?
18.
I hope-
He went for training on 9/15.
There you go.
I don't
All
know what
right.
day it is either.
Any questions or comments on the technology? He's time traveling, maybe. No, no questions? Okay, great. So item M, student liaison report.
Unfortunately, I'm a lot less organized than all of you, so I have it on my phone.
You're saving paper. I like
I'm
it.
saving paper, I'm saving the trees. Just give me 1 second to pull it up. Also, I just want to say thank you, Mr. Kraus, for the update on the lighting situation. It is much appreciated, I can tell you that. We see it every day. So first, for the upcomings and happenings of what's going on in the high school, all of our fall sports are back in session. Our field hockey team is 2-1-1, which means they won 2, they lost 1, and they tied in a game. Football is 2-1 right now. Boys soccer is 3-1. Girls volleyball is 1-3. Girls soccer is 3-0. They're currently undefeated. Girls tennis is 6-2, and cross country has been meeting, but unfortunately, I do not understand how cross country works. As far as student council goes, they're currently planning the homecoming dance, which is October 1st. I believe it is 6:30 to 10:30. They have designed the homecoming t-shirts. They are currently on pre-sale, and started gaining candidates for elections for the homecoming king and queen. They are also planning the fall pep rally on October 3rd, and they have a student survey about Spirit Week from the 29th to October 3rd. The theater department has auditioned and casted for the fall play. Those dates are October 23rd and 24th. We just started a poster competition for advertising purposes. Marching band won first place in their most recent competition last Saturday. For clubs, almost all of the clubs have started meeting again. We have a club fair on September 30th during unit lunch. So those clubs include Unified Club, Academic Decathlon, the GSA, the Gay Straight Alliance, Mock Trial, Key Club, Green Team, Robotics, DECA, which is currently taking in applications for the new year, Upstanders Club, Colors of Excellence, Model UN, and Battle of the Books. Honor societies, so the National Honor Society just had their election for the 2026 officers, which is Juliette Miller as president, Elizabeth Peak as vice president, Maureen Lovett as the treasurer, and Tegan Ressler as the secretary. As far as the Thespian Honor Society, we are planning our fundraisers and our cabarets for this upcoming season. The senior class, this one's exciting, guys. The Match College Offers, so that is a website where we got set up last year and set up a profile to have colleges review it. And if they like you, they can automatically accept you, not having met you, not having a visit. And they give out scholarships, merit-based, based on your transcript and everything like that. So the college offers were just recently released. We had 35.1 million in potential scholarships and 561 potential admissions offers. And as far as college admissions visits go, we have Monmouth on the 22nd, Ramapo on the 23rd, and Montclair State on the 30th. Vernon Magazine, this is also exciting. Tegan Ressler got Student Athlete of the Month for her softball and field hockey commitment. And we have an upcoming college and career fair on the October 22nd. As far as our goals for this year, me and Mr. Demsack and me and Ms. Mendez talked a lot about this. So one of those is communication. We're going to be working a lot with the student council to keep the student body updated on what's happening in our school and on the Board of Ed. Those include the homeroom representatives, making sure that the teachers are aware of what's going on through the homeroom representatives and the morning announcements, and Google Forms to solicit feedback and get as much statistics and overall, what's the word I'm looking for? As feedback as possible. So teachers and homeroom representatives will encourage all students to to fill out the forms and gain a real sense of feedback. And one of our other goals is clubs and electives. So this might seem like we have a very wide representation of clubs and electives, but it has been brought to my attention that there are sports and other clubs of interest that we currently do not have. So we will be sending out many, many Google Forms, many announcements as to get those students involved, and if it's a broad enough category of students, to make sure that it's being brought to the Board of Ed and getting set up for possible next school year or the school year after that. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
What's the play?
Rumors by Neil Simon.
Jumped my question, I was gonna ask the same question.
Any other questions for our student rep?
What is the Battle of the Books? Is that like, they put robot books?
So,
right?
no. Battle of the Books is in our library. It, as far as I know, is a school and kind of county-wide competition to see who can read the most books in the school year. I also believe we had it in the middle school, and I want to say I heard someone read 13 books in the span of 6 months, and I was very impressed. And yeah, I think it goes on in our school as to who can read the most books in the school year, and then whatever school wins or reads the most books in general would move on to whatever round they have after that.
Interesting, okay.
In the lower grades, they called it accelerated reader. Did they still have that? You know? I know it's been a few years since
I
they've had it in
am
the lower grade.
unsure.
I remember that
That is a
one,
good
yeah.
Have
question.
accelerated readers?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
I don't think they have that anymore.
You had to take that test
I
on the
didn't even,
computer.
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even know that was a thing, so.
Well, maybe not, maybe not.
All right, thank you. So item N, public comment. Mr. Slamb, would you, I know you enjoy reading this long note.
During the course of the public meeting of the Vernon Board of Education, the public has offered the opportunity to address the board on agenda items and any issues regarding the school district. The board reminds those individuals who take this opportunity that they must identify themselves by name and section of town and limit their comments to agenda items and or issues that directly relate to the operation of the school district. Issues that are raised by members of the public may or may not be responded to by the board or administration at the time of the meeting or at any time. All comments will be considered and a response be forthcoming if and when appropriate. The board requests that members of the public keep their comments to a limit of 5 minutes, be courteous, respectful, and mindful of the right of other individuals when speaking. Specifically, comments regarding students and employees of the Board of Education should be thoroughly considered by the speaker and may or may not be responded to by the board or administration. Be advised that students and employees have rights of confidentiality and other protections under the law. Student names should never be used. The board bears no responsibility, nor will be liable for any comments made by the public during the public portion of a board meeting. Members of the public should consider their comments in light of legal rights of those affected or identify their comments and be aware that they are personally and legally responsible for potential liability for the comments that they make to the board.
Thank you, Mr. Slam. Do we have any members of the public who wish to speak? I think we have one online. Anybody in person? We'll go to Martin.
Hi, everybody. I hope you can hear me. I want to comment onto the math problem. The first time I commented on the math problem was when I think Nicole was in 5th grade, so about 2005. The problem I've seen over and over again for in the 12 years, with my daughter, in the 12 years I've been doing robotics in town, and in the 4 years since then that I've been doing robotics in other towns, we are not teaching math to the kids. And I've been heard the comment from many math teachers, both in this district and other districts, and even supervisors, who say, we are teaching to pass state math tests. We are not teaching math. My daughter almost flunked math in the first year of college in Cornell. And I told her to get, she needed to get tutoring, which she used me for. She finally then in her second, third, and fourth year, she had an A in math. We need to use math in real world, and that is one of the benefits of a robotics problem all the way through. Most problems can be broken down into rectangles, triangles, and triangles use Pythagoras. We teach Pythagoras, but our students, I've seen it over and over here and in other districts, are incapable of seeing triangles. And it's so important. Any map can be broken down in triangles. Technical stuff like 3D printing is broken down in triangles. If I look at you on the video, there's the Pythagoras all over the place. And now with, if you do robotics, to do image recognition, you need to see the triangles if you want to, for example, decide how far the person, object, table, box, ball, whatever is away from you, and plan a path to get there. And those are all skills that are needed. And this is why STEM is so important. And as soon as I mention STEM, somebody says STEAM. And for me, STEAM is everything. STEM was created, science, technology, engineering, and math, because we are not doing well in that. Not just in this district, we're doing not well state-wise and probably country-wise. Yeah. So for me, STEAM is to STEM what All Lives Matters is to Black Lives Matters. It is taking away, and we need to focus on that. And we need to, and I am aware that we have to pass the state tests, but my argument is, if we teach the kids proper math and how to understand it, not just do the mechanics, how to understand it and use it, then they will be able to even use the state, even solve the state problems. So I would hope we start focusing on that, and that should take care of the math problem, hopefully in many years. And you just heard a speech that I have given in front of the BOE and in privately and publicly in other venues at least 1 million times. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Perringer. Do we have any other?
Nope, that's all.
Okay, thank you. Item O, Superintendent's report. Turn it over to you, Mr. Mendez.
Sure. Good evening. So we have a very healthy report today. I'll start off just by saying we're pleased to announce our District Artists of the Month for September. We know that artwork is displayed in our municipal building. We do have attached our enrollment report, our harassment, intimidation, and bullying report for August 2025, which we've had 0 cases. But today we do have to do an HIB self-assessment public hearing for the summary of our HIB grades. I will do that in a moment. I'm going to hold on that one and move just to the recognition of our tenured staff. The following certified staff members are recognized for receiving tenure in the month of September: Jessica Bichelle, Samantha Bubendorf, Leah Fontana, Nicholas Lasso, Kristen Leikwitz, Stacy Lewicki, Lisa Picariello, and Sarah Turo. We just want to congratulate our staff members on achieving tenure in our district. We did celebrate them during our convocation, but it's wonderful to be able to present them to our board. This means that for the past 4 years, they've demonstrated excellence and highly effective teaching on the behalf of our students. So of course, it's always a celebration, and we wanted to honor them today. I'm going back to our HIB self-assessment public hearing. Annually, we are required to present our HIB grades as required by the Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights Act. There are 8 core elements of a self-assessment. It's taking a look at our programs, our training, our staff instruction, our curriculum and instruction on HIB and related skills, our personnel, our school-level incident reporting procedure, our investigative procedure, and our HIB reporting. There is a total number of 78 points that each school can award themselves on the self-assessment. All of our schools, with the exception of 2, awarded themselves the full 78 points because they did meet each of the components in all of the 8 criteria. Walnut Ridge awarded themselves 77 out of the 78 points, and that is in the HIB personnel element. That was because they opened in December, and so then they weren't able to hold the 2 meetings that they were required. Lounsbury Hollow self-assessed at 76 of the 78 points under other staff instruction and training programs. When they surveyed their ABS and their staff, they said they would like to receive additional training, more training, and so then in consideration of that feedback, they awarded themselves the 76 points. But they are moving forward this year with improving the training opportunities to their staff. We have a whole host of training opportunities that are available to the staff, beginning with the week of respect, as you see on the agenda, School Violence Awareness Week, PBIS, and many, many other areas of focus so that we can really move away from what we know as harassment, intimidation, and bullying. The purpose of the public hearing then is to ensure transparency, provide the public an opportunity to review and comment on our efforts to prevent HIB after this summary is presented here this evening and we hear from our board and public. We will post the grades on our website as is required by the Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights Act. So this opens our public hearing.
That's correct. Yep.
Are there any questions from the board or from the public on our HIB grades? No? All right. Do you have to close it? No? Okay. So just as a part of strengthening HIB practices through efficiency and insight, you're going to hear that a lot, alignment, efficiency. We're experiencing that as a team and as a board. We will be transitioning from paper-based HIB reporting because that is how we do it right now. Everything is written and on paper, and we have very clear timelines by which we need to follow and adhere to. We're going to move to Hibster. It is an electronic platform for managing HIB. It will be funded through our Title IV grant, and it will allow us to enhance our current practices by improving efficiency and consistency and data access. What it will do is moving away from filling out paper, everybody can enter into the system. Let's say an HIB is initiated by an ABS, then it would automatically route it to the next person. It would automatically inform everybody who needs to be informed about the process. It would make sure that we are adhering to the timelines. More importantly, it will streamline our investigations and our documentation. It will allow us to track trends and hotspots so we can proactively guide prevention efforts. It will help us identify patterns to support our students more effectively, and it will help us collaborate across schools in a shared digital space. So on October 13th, during our district-wide in-service day, we will receive training, and as a team, we will collectively decide when we're ready to go live, if it was a month or 2 in preparation, so that we could make sure that we are all accurately trained and ready to roll. We think this is also timely, since October is, right, Week of Respect and all things anti-bullying and against school violence. With that said, as a part of our Week of Respect on October 7th, our students at Glen Meadow Middle School and the high school are going to hear Ryan's story, which is a powerful presentation on bullying, cyberbullying, and suicide prevention. And this is based on the true story of Ryan Halligan. It really reinforces empathy and kindness, the importance of speaking up. Ryan did commit suicide, and his father will speak as a part of this presentation to talk to our students about just seeing each other and caring for one another. Along that note, last week I issued a communication to our community and families regarding a matter that we had addressed. Understandably, it created some tension. The letter was ambiguous in the fact that we have to save space for privacy and communication. When we address an incident, we may not be able to provide details, but we do want to be transparent as transparent as we can with our community and let them know that something is taking place, but there is no cause for concern. So I just want to acknowledge that difficulty, acknowledge that that tension is held, and we will do the best that we can to communicate proactively with our families and when we can give as much details. Following that communication, there were 3 parents who reached out via email. I did respond to each one individually, and one of them did make a suggestion. They said that as they went through our website, that they didn't find any information on how we handle threat assessments in our district. And so then we combed our website, and that parent was right. We do not have that posted until today. Since then, we built our webpage. BTAM, Behavioral Threat Assessment Management, is the procedure. We do have a very strong threat assessment procedure process in our district. We just needed to communicate it to our families. So now our families will be able to find our webpage. On it will be a description of BTAM. On it will be listed all of our committee members who serve on the threat assessment teams. There will be an FAQ, frequently asked questions about how we handle threat assessment in the district, whether it is a threat of harm to other or a threat of harm to self. Both of them are considered. There is a parent presentation there, which will walk our parents and community members through what our process looks like and answers some questions in there. There is an outline of our communication strategy. So if our parents in a scenario receive this type of email, it's because there is no risk, no cause for concern, and please understand we can't provide details. If there's an incident that's happening in town or that's going through social media, we're letting the parents know this is what's taking place, we're aware, etc. So we're sharing our communication strategies. That way parents are aware of how we will communicate moving forward. And there is also an anonymous threat reporting form for each school that has now been posted. And so then if our families or students now find out or have some information that we need to be made aware of proactively, there is now an anonymous reporting feature for each of our schools. We do want to just clearly state that because these can't be possibly monitored 24/7, if there is a true emergency that needs to be handled right away, we continue to encourage our families to call 911 or the Vernon Police Department. We did reach out to our partners in making sure that our schools are safe, and so then we, alongside the Vernon Police Department, are on the same page. So that is around safety and communication and our HIV grades and what is taking place this week. We started this evening really with our students. We heard from our advisory council. We were able to acknowledge Luka, Savytskyy, and I want to welcome Calista O'Donnell. She and I got to attend a board training together. I think we had a good time. Yeah?
So.
We got to bond a little bit, and I hope to just continue to increase our partnership and work closely with you and the students. She wonderfully stated her goals. I look forward to your leadership. Absolutely, and how you're going to represent the student body well on this board. So thank you. We want to welcome back all of our students and staff. We are underway from preschoolers boarding the bus for the first time to our seniors celebrating their last first day, right? The opening of school was filled with positivity and excitement and a strong sense of community. All 6 of our schools reported a strong opening. Our classrooms were ready. Our students came in prepared to learn, or with sleepy eyes saying, what, we're back and it's early. Nevertheless, we're back as a community and we're excited. Our transportation overall went well. Our routes are running smoothly. We did have a transportation meeting with all of our bus drivers this week, and that was nice to meet them and to hear some of the concerns that they might have had. Our principals were also present as leaders to hear and communicate with our bus drivers to make sure that our routes are running efficiently, that our students are behaving on the buses, and that there is a communication protocol that is open and transparent. I just want to thank Marissa Broder for leading that conversation. She did a fantastic job at making sure that our leadership and our transportation team is communicating well. Curriculum and instruction and assessment. Our teachers began the year equipped with our updated curriculum. Our benchmark assessments are underway. We have been selected for the Innovations in Measuring Student Growth for the Evaluation Pilot Program. This is great. So the state is taking a look at our SGOs and how that's calculated in observations. And so then our team applied. So shout out over there to Mr. Gagliostro and to Dr. Shep as they went and heard about what opportunity was available for Vernon to lead in the conversation, to have a seat at the table and lead in that conversation. So they're exploring those ways to assess student progress. And I'm looking forward to what you're going to accomplish, right, as a voice on that team. So thank you to our leaders who are really partnering with our state. We're also preparing for our field testing for the NJGPA and NJSLA. Yes, those scores, we won't be able to look back at them, right? We're starting testing all over again. So it will be grades 4 and up. We have to field test in October. Everything will be online. Hopefully, it will be a better administration since it's adaptive. Our open houses and back-to-school nights are taking place across all of our schools. We had a very strong turnout. And we are posting our videos. I hope you're on Instagram. I hope you're on Facebook. I hope you're on the live feed. We have over, I think it was 2,000 something views on our back-to-school our back-to-school night, middle school, Glen Meadow, right? So a lot of our parents are picking up steam. We did meet again for a listening and learning conversation with the SEA. They are raising so many funds for our students. Wow. So I can't wait for them to come and report out on all that they're doing, but they are so active with our students. They were at all of the back-to-school nights. They are fundraising. They have different events, and they're just so encouraging, and it's really warm to see how actively engaged our families are, our parents. Ms. O'Donnell gave the athletic highlights, so I'll leave that to her. Just community partnerships. This month I had the opportunity to meet with our township, Howard Lazier, the Director of Public Works, really to talk about snow days. Yes, we're preparing. So what will that look like? But we're partnering, making sure that we're making good decisions and that we're thinking about that beforehand. So he definitely shared some wonderful resources for us to not only see cameras, but know the temperature on the cement so that we'll know how to call a delay and how to call a closing. I also met with our mayor to discuss our continued collaboration between the township and the district alongside Mr. Slamb. We're going to meet quarterly to continue to just talk about shared services and what that might look like. So partnerships. VTEA support, we want to thank them for providing refreshments for the preschool back-to-school night, and they purchased beads and strings and charts and whiteboard markers and notebooks for our parents to take notes and tote bags for our families, so we're excited about that. We also received feedback from a parent or parents about our Cedar Mountain pickups. It's tough. I don't know that we'll be able to resolve that. We don't have the number of parking spaces that we totally need, but we do have over 180 families using our parent drop-off and pickup at Cedar Mountain. So we did make some adjustments. Effective Monday, instead of having one door to pick up our little ones, there will be two, so that should cut off the pickup time, at least cut it in half. And then the police department gave us some no parking signs so that we could just keep everybody safe, know where we should be parking and not making U-turns into our road where our buses are. So we just thank our parents in advance for their cooperation. We know it's a tough situation, and we appreciate just the patience as we try to exit our students as efficiently and safely as possible. And I also want to just take a moment to say, because of the limited parking capacity, we hope that our parents can be encouraged to use our district-provided bus transportation when possible, and that might help us out. So we know that as we drop off our kindergarten and first graders, maybe at the beginning of the year, we're gaining trust in the bus and in the system and in the process, and maybe we'll just appreciate that ongoing commitment and support. Our CCLC starts September 22nd. Our informational open house is from 4:30 to 5 at Glen Meadow, and so then we just encourage our families to attend. We're excited about that. And wow, that concludes the superintendent's report.
Nice. It's quite lengthy. Okay, and thorough, and appreciated. Recommendations. Now, those are your recommendations,
Yes.
correct?
So we have our personnel recommendations. Oh, no, we have to go to board policies first?
Yes.
Yes, so we're recommending our board policies first. And so they are policies 0164, conduct of the board meeting, 0173, duties of public school accountant, 0174, legal services, 0177, professional services, 1570, internal controls, 1620, administrative employment contracts, 1636, notification of promotion, new job and transfer, opportunities, 2422, statutory curricular requirements, 6111, special education Medicaid initiative program, and 6220, budget preparation. Those are all first readings. Our second reading is for the acceptable use of artificial intelligence, that's P2365. And then we are also recommending to abolish P1648, that's record keeping for COVID.
And then we keep going through all, and then we do
Yep.
questions at the very end.
All right, very good. So personnel, upon recommendation, we have the following certificated staff resignations and retirements. In the second section, you'll see the non-certificated staff resignation and retirements. We have an approval by the Board of Ed to deactivate the following substitute teachers. That person moved out of the state or country. And then there is a recommendation for certificated staff appointments. There is the recommendation for non-certificated staff appointments. There is the recommendation for certificated staff sixth period teaching assignments. And there is the recommendation for substitute appointments at the appropriate substitute rates. There is the recommendation for the mentor fee deduction for our staff for the 25-26 school year. There are CCLC program recommendations for appointment for substitutes. There is the attachment of the hourly stipend adjustments, and there are staff salary adjustments for the 25-26 school year that need to be made for staff who are moving on the guide. There is a staff start date adjustment for our staff who had to start on a different date due to fingerprinting, et cetera. And our part-time aides, leaves of absence for certificated and non-certificated staff. And a special acknowledgement and honoring of Dr. Dominic Demsak, who received his doctorate, and he is now getting his award. Yes, let's give him a.
It's the other one.
And that's his brother, but
Yeah,
this
that's-
is Dom Demsak.
Not Nick, don't.
Right?
His brother, no, I'm sorry.
Going? All right, the next section is curriculum and instruction, and we're looking at approving our destinations, our travel, our student-teacher assignments, our professional development plan, our mentoring plan, and our proximity learning agreement in the amount of $11,679.96. Our reports are the HIB report, which is attachment R1, and the random drug testing and school safety reports for August, which were all zero. And those are
that
the
wraps
recommendations for, right.
Okay, great. Can I get a motion to approve the superintendent's resolutions 02A through 02Z?
So moved.
Second? Okay, can we get a roll call? Oh, wait, no, questions or comments? I'm so sorry.
I just have one question. On item K, with the mentor services, why are the mentoring services amounts different?
I used to know this one.
Yeah.
Different time periods? No. 30, yeah, no, I guess that's on it.
21 weeks of mentoring, 30 weeks of mentoring, 30 weeks, it's still, yeah,
Yeah.
you have to find out.
If you could get back to me,
Sure,
that would be great.
absolutely.
Anyone else? Seeing no further, can we get a roll call?
Mr. Sweeney?
Yes.
Ms. Vaccarello?
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman?
Yes.
Mr. Semaglia?
Yes.
Mr. Cantina?
Yes.
Mr. Fisher?
Aye.
Mr. Kraus?
Yes.
Ms. Pellet?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Great. Item P, Mr. Slamb, Assistant Administrator's Report.
Yep. I just want to give a quick update on Glen Meadow AC. So I just want to provide a status report on the replacement AC unit and for our main distribution room, or MDF room, located at Glen Meadow. The AC unit, which is essential for cooling our network equipment, broke in late May. This is unexpected and unbudgeted failure. To maintain district connectivity, we temporarily moved an AC unit from the cafeteria to the MDF room. This let us keep our network servers and hardware from overheating. The process of securing permanent replacement has been challenging. We began reaching out to cooperative vendors in May. The first vendor completed a site visit in June, but failed to provide a proposal despite our repeated attempts to contact them after the site visit. We reached out to a second cooperative vendor. After multiple unsuccessful attempts to schedule a site visit in July, we contacted a third. The third vendor was responsive, completing a site visit in August and submitting a proposal on September 2nd. So since this was unbudgeted expense, we had to locate funds. The proposal for the new AC unit is now on the agenda tonight. Once approved, installation can be scheduled, ensuring the long-term stability and reliability of the district's network infrastructure. Additionally, with the MDF room properly cooled, we can move the temporary unit back to the cafeteria, which will ensure that the gym continues to provide an environment that's conducive to learning. And then additionally, in the meantime, physical education staff have determined that if the conditions are too warm in the gym, classes are being conducted outdoors. And then also we'll have fans arriving tomorrow as well that have already been ordered. And then, sorry, I feel like I sound like I'm Darth Vader breathing into the thing. Sometimes I pick up on it, I'm like, oof. So we have also our use of buildings and grounds as attachment one. That concludes informational items. And then we have 1 or 2, which are recommendations. Our finance, we start with our financial reports. Letter A, upon recommendation, Superintendent of Schools, approved by the Board of Education, approve the following financial reports as listed below. Letter B is approval of Board Secretaries and Treasurers reports as noted below. Those are attachment F5 and F6. We also have the approval of the transportation for the month of September. That's attachment F7. We have the approval to add a 457B option through security benefit for Vernon Township School District employees. We also have the recommendation for approval for the disposition of the following items as noted below, so either obsolete or in disrepair. We also have approval for the proposal from McCloskey Mechanical Contractors, Inc. for the main MDF air conditioning replacement at Glen Meadow Middle School in an amount of $35,261. That's through a cooperative contract. That's attachment F8. We have the recommendation approval by the Board of Education to accept $5,000 from T-Mobile's Friday sweepstakes, which will be going to the high school for continued weight room improvements. We have the approval of the service agreement between Porzio, Bromberg, and Newman and the Vernon Township School District. That's attachment F9. We have the approval for, recommended approval for the proposal from PureTech Group for the high school auditorium lighting system upgrade in an amount of $74,399.26. That's attachment F10. And then letter J, we have the approval recommended approval for proposal from USA Architects for professional services related to proposed elevator upgrades at Vernon Township High School and Lounsbury Hollow School in the amount of $24,800, attachment F11. Continuing on to special services, we have the recommended approval for the following out-of-district placements as noted below. We have the recommended approval for the for the Camden County Educational Services Commission for services and evaluations needed to assist the CST when necessary for appropriate and appropriate for the 25-26 school year. Letter M, we have the approval by the Board of Education student 21392 to attend Brookfield Schools / CFG Residential's LLC for homebound educational instruction at a rate of $40 per hour for 25-26 school year. Letter N, we have the recommended approval for the memorandum of understanding between Insight Health Inc. and Vernon Township School District. That's attachment SS-1. And then letter O, we have the recommended approval by the Board of Education for the service agreement between J&B Therapy and Vernon Township School District for the 25-26 school year. That is attachment SS2.
Phew, okay. Can I get a motion to approve the business administrator's resolutions P2A through P2O?
So moved.
Carl, a second. Stephanie, somebody new. Okay, questions or comments? I have a couple, but who's first? Carl?
So first, I want to ask,
Wait, hang on a second, we missed,
We weren't supposed to vote on.
oh.
It was on the last one.
Oh, it was on the last one, so we have to go back to that after. Okay, go ahead, Carl. What-
item G, upon recommendation of Superintendent of Schools, approval by the Board of Education, one of the recipients of the T-Mobile's 5K Friday sweepstakes. Can you elaborate on that? What is that? That sounds very interesting and exciting.
Yes. So, T-Mobile Friday Night 5G Lights Initiative, these are contributions from our school community. We are making upgrades to the VTHS weight room, and as part of that competition, we designated athletics as our focus area. We were awarded $6,000 in funding. Additionally, several school-based organizations and booster groups joined the effort to increase that amount of donation. So the class of 2024 donated $1,000, the VTH Athletic Hall of Fame received $1,287, the Viking Club $1,287, Boys Lacrosse $1,287, Track and Field $1,287, the High School SCA donated $1,200, Executive SCA $1,000, and the Football Booster Club $1,287. So we are receiving so much support. We're excited. Thank you for asking about that. We're grateful for the collaboration. And it's a part of T-Mobile's broader investment in rural communities.
So T-Mobile is
Yeah.
making a donation?
Yes, and then the
that's
boosters
awesome.
and the others are joining in the
wow.
effort.
And these are all going to the weight room?
I believe the $6,000 in funding was toward the weight room, yes.
Okay, can we know a little bit about what improvements are being made to the weight room? Because last meeting, we had a bunch too, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah, we
remember.
did.
I think it was also the equipment, if I remember.
Also,
Yeah, so the last meeting was replacement of equipment, and then the next phase of what they'd like to do is look at things like the flooring. So that $5,000 won't be enough to do the flooring, but it's
okay.
going
So
in that
we're-
direction.
we're working
Wants to
toward
be- Yep, because
a really
I think they
nice-
worked pretty hard to get all the donations to get to the equipment, and then we'll see if, we can kind of move forward there and maybe make something work, where we can get the flooring taken care of too.
That's great.
And I had one other question, sorry. Item I, approval by the Camden County Educational Services Commission for services and evaluations needed to assist the CST when necessary. So are we working with the Camden County ESC are we kind of?
Item L.
Yeah, you're the right one?
It's L.
Item L, I'm sorry, it's a lowercase l, I looked at the wrong, forgive me. But item L, are we working with them kind of to, can you elaborate on that?
So it's a services commission, so they provide services. It's a specific situation where the geographic location of those services will be helpful for us, essentially.
So if we had a student who, just because Camden County is pretty far away, so I was kind of just wondering.
There's a specific reason why we're partnering with them in Camden County.
Okay.
Geographically.
Thank you.
Yep.
So, as always, we're approving a lot of money to the Ed Services Commission of Morris County Central Park School. I don't see it on the list.
Okay.
Are they a public school?
Yeah.
It's a public school.
We do have other commissions on here, Monmouth Commission, like why Monmouth there, but not,
If it's a public school, though, it doesn't have to be on the list, right?
The list is for private approved schools.
okay?
Okay, John's been waiting, so I'm gonna-
Me? Okay, thank, I noticed one of the attachments is for proximity learning, their contract, but I don't see it here in the agenda. Are we voting on it?
That was up under the curriculum section, under
Okay,
the
I'm sorry, I
superintendent's
must have missed it
recommendations.
over there. I have a question. Why is the contract only for 2 months?
There is a vacancy for that amount of time, so we're just covering the vacancy.
So we're gonna get a teacher? Awesome. I'm waiting for that. Thank you.
Shirley?
I still have one more question.
Oh, sorry, John.
I also noticed Fund 40 is out to zero. Are we finished with our debt services?
We have a payment schedule throughout the year, so we still have remaining payments left,
Okay.
but we
So
haven't
zeros,
received.
I thought we were done.
So we received the revenue portion of that from the town at certain times, and then we paid out at certain times. There's usually a payment of principal and interest, so 2 separate payments during each school year.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
I just want to know, with T-Mobile, they sponsored that, giving us money, right? Did we mention that we have cell phone space available on top of our high school and we're building a tower? Just, a little extra,
I actually did try reaching out to T-Mobile and also AT&T back when we went out for RFP, and unfortunately, no matter how many emails or calls I made, I never actually heard back from anybody. We do have, because you remember, we leased it out through an RFP, and a private company won that with the highest proposal, right? So now they are, I can give a quick update on that if you'd like. So basically, they have now finalized their agreement with Verizon. So that is the first locator on the tower. So that means that they're moving forward with permits. Unfortunately, because it took so long to finalize with Verizon, instead of the original estimate of they're going to start building in the fall, now they're saying they're shooting for the spring. So at that point, they're building it, and then the hope is that they are able to, through their contacts, because they're in the business of building these towers, find additional co-locators, because the way it's set up, that each additional co-locator, we'd get 50% of the co-locator rent. So right now, I think we're at about, it's been a while, but I think we're about a little over $50,000 a year with an escalator built in, and then each additional co-locator would be 50% of whatever rent that they're able to charge or come to an agreement with those companies. I did try, though. I did try with T-Mobile and AT&T.
Okay, I have a quick question. For the items that are being disposed of, the 5 boxes of outdated tech equipment, do you happen to know if that's the robotics stuff that we were told was being looked into?
I don't know that. I can follow up and check. I hadn't heard of any robotics equipment being thrown away, but I'm not sure specifically what's in those boxes.
There were robotics items that were picked up.
Oh, they
So
were
I
picked
don't think that they were thrown away and stored.
Oh, okay. Great. Picked up by, okay, really? Okay, great. So anybody else? All right, great. Can we get a roll call? Go back to-
Ms. Vaccarello?
Sorry, I was checking. Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman?
Yes.
Mr. Smaglia?
yes.
Mr. Contino?
Yes.
Mr. Fisher?
Aye.
Mr. Kraus?
Yes.
Ms. Pellet?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, and then we need to go back to
2T.
2T in the superintendent's
yeah.
recommendation.
Superintendent, the attachment for travel. Attachment C2. I'm listed. I have to abstain from that. And then there's other board members that I'm.
We're all listed,
Yeah.
are we all listed?
We're all-
No, not all of, those of us who are going to the NJSBA meeting, workshop, have
I
to.
don't see where it's listed here.
It's on attachment.
It's page 13, right?
Right, it's on an attachment, I saw the attachment.
Item T. So can we amend that vote to have some of us abstain from that?
I'll update it for the minutes that anyone that should have abstained. I think what happened was we got a little thrown off because we're moving to attachments to make
Yeah.
the agenda itself more readable, right?
Right.
So that's probably why.
Right. Okay, thank you. Okay, so item Q, public comment. The public meeting notice applies to this public comment session as well. And do we have any members from the public who would like to comment? Please just sign the sheet at the podium when you come to the podium. Thank you.
I'll start on the side. My name's Jean Buffalino. I've been in the district for 42 years. And my oldest grandson started kindergarten. And he's being asked to cross Lake Wallkill Road in the morning and in the afternoon. And they want him to do it by himself. They are allowed, and I did get in touch with the head of transportation. I didn't just come here to complain and we're kind of, don't know what we're gonna do about it. If you've ever been on Lake Wallkill, it's 40 miles an hour right there. It is a raceway. We stood there the other day and counted 35 cars, trucks, school buses, motorcycles, doing wheelies, going down that road in the 10 minutes that we were waiting for the bus to come. So the bus driver said the first 2 days, the parents could cross the kids, but then after that, they were gonna have to learn to do it on their own. There are 4 kindergartners there. There is 1 third grader there. It's on Stratfordshire, which is a horseshoe. They've gone through that neighborhood every year until the past 2 years, probably because there weren't as many kids. But now we're asking my daughter, who has a 5-month-old and a 3-year-old and her 5-year-old to cross the road twice a day to get her son off the road. We're asking a woman who's 9 months pregnant with her slightly handicapped child to cross that road twice a day, a grandmother that's taking 3-year-old twins and a 5-year-old across. And this is taking time. I mean, much more time than coming into the neighborhood. We're not asking we're asking not for convenience, but for safety. It is an accident waiting to happen. And somebody has to be proactive or we're gonna be reactive to something that's not gonna go well. The bus driver, we've only been in school 1 week. I called the board office the very next day. Why am I calling? My daughter happens to be shy. She's also a mother of 3 toddlers, a stay-at-home mom, doesn't really have the time to do it. I called, I've been dealing with the district for 42 years. I worked in the community for 25 years. In a nonprofit organization, I worked with the bus company for 25 years back and forth, getting the kids from the PAL to the schools, working very closely. So I know how it all works. I know the budgets, I know the constraints. Again, it's a safety issue at this point. It's really gotten to the point, and I was told they can move to another bus stop area if they'd like to, down the road into either Lake Wallkill or Tudor Hill, Tudor Hill. Or they can suggest another one, or maybe in the morning. Or I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. All these parents are gonna start driving to school because they're not comfortable with what they're doing.
And they're all in Cedar Mountain.
And they're
Which
all,
you just said is a problem with all the parents picking up, dropping off in limited parking spaces.
And I know other parents have called, but they all have toddlers. We're talking about little children here, so they have to be home with their children. So it's not like they're not concerned, they're all concerned.
I just happened to be the one that said I would be the spokesperson for them, so I don't think it's a big ask. I've spoken to many people in the community in the past week, even in my own neighborhood. The bus drivers are stopping, making a lot of stops in these neighborhoods. We're asking for 2 stops. Come in, pick up the kids on one side of the street, pick up the other kids on the other side of the street. We shouldn't be asking 5-year-olds to cross Lake Walker Road. We shouldn't. And I'll tell you, my daughter will never, ever let her kids cross that road by themselves. They're just not gonna do it. It's just not the right answer to be told it won't be considered when I know other and I'm not, again, emotionally, you know, it's tough for me because I see as a grandmother, I'm standing there cringing myself, wondering what's gonna happen one day when those people behind these buses are gonna try to go past that bus. It's just an accident waiting to happen. It really is.
So this morning was very foggy out. So when you were standing at the bus stop, we live the longest straightaway on Lake Walker Road. When you looked all the way down one end, you couldn't even see the turn. So anyone coming around that turn, if they're doing 60 like a lot of people do, they're not gonna see that bus. Yeah, you know, they're not going 40, they're going 60 miles an hour, and they're gonna finally see that bus. And when you look the other way, same thing. You couldn't even see the turn because of the fog.
And actually, his 3-year-old tried to cross, and the bus driver was yelling at him to, you know,
Right, 'cause
to
my wife
stop.
has with the stroller with my 6-month-old, and she's trying to cross the street with the stroller on one hand, the 3-year-old in the other hand, and the 5-year-old walking on his own because she will not let him cross the street by himself.
And just on another note, I am the one who convinced her to put the child on the bus. She wanted to drive, and I told her not to do it because I know from other parents that are doing it that I know what it's like at the schools. She's got a lot of friends that are dropping their kids off. One of the moms is driving her kid for this very reason. So I'm asking for help. If someone to listen, someone to try to figure it out. They're taxpayers too.
I have
They deserve to
to,
keep
I
the
just
kids
have to
safe.
interrupt you because the time is up. There's
Yeah.
2 of you though, so you can swap off.
You know, I think you get the gist of what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
So.
I didn't want to have to come here. I wanted it to try to be handled behind closed doors. This isn't my type of thing to do, to come and complain. I haven't complained, and Joe will tell you, I mean, I know a lot of people on the board personally. I've never come here once in 42 years to complain about anything the Board of Ed has done, anything the school districts have done, and I've been.
We
an
thank you
involved
for
parent.
coming. You have every right to speak, so
Okay.
don't feel badly about
Okay.
that at all. We do not do a back and forth at the podium. I don't know if you're aware, but
Okay,
we
that's
changed
okay.
our
That's okay.
approach to that, but we have heard you, and thank you for your
I just want to say,
comments.
we moved in 7 years ago, and the buses, we would watch them come through the neighborhood every day, in the morning, afternoon. We thought it was great, because now we wouldn't have to go to Lake Walker Road. But I don't know when it stopped.
2 years ago,
2
I
years
was
ago.
told, because there weren't the kids there. They're, you know,
Right.
but now it's
And that's what I
turning
heard
over.
was a timing issue, but the bus comes 10 to 15 minutes earlier than what they tell us every day. One day was 20 minutes early, and one of the kids missed the bus. Now the parent had to put the kid in the car and then chase the bus down.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any other people online or members of the public?
No, nobody online.
Thank you. That ends public comment. Item R, open board member forum. Does anyone have anything for open board member forum?
I do. First, I appreciate the making more efficient the HIV and moving digital, and I think we can get a lot of data out there. I'm glad we have now a way of measuring and looking back without having to manually do it. We can track trends like you're saying, and that's really great. The other thing I just want to mention, that you talked about the STEM program for females. That is pretty awesome. I hope my daughters are watching, because I expect them to be in it. But I really think that all the females should take advantage of this. When I went to college, there was about 4 females in our CS classes, and we were always with the engineers, because we all had a lot of math together. So there weren't that many females. And we talk about AI nowadays, and we're pulling AI into the district, and it's all over the place, and people talk about how AI is biased, or racist, sexist, what? The reason why it's that the AI is not itself, but it's the people training it. And when you don't have a whole demographic being able to program and do it, those views never get in there. So it's not that AI can only learn from what's there. So this is awesome. And I hope the females really take advantage of this and move that program along, because their input is needed. So everyone's input is needed. So when a demographic's missing, and I've seen it in the industry, so it's really great. So I'm glad for that. Whoever got the grant and whatever, good job.
Dr. Shep, thank you.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Shep.
Yes.
And then the other thing is, I think you've seen with the back to school nights. I mean, it's amazing. I love it every year. Like the community cares so much. I think they're well attended. I don't really go with the other districts just to see how they do, but for me, there's always a line. There's people always waiting. I know every parent that can make it tries to make it. So I think you see the support and the love that we have in our community for our district. And then on the flip side, I forgot what you call the meeting. I keep want to say the coronation, but I know it's not the convocation. Yeah. So that was remarkable. We've talked about all the staff members, and it was amazing to, and we talk about them individually. We're talking about teaching, or we're talking about the custodial staff, or we're talking about this or that, grounds and stuff. To see them all in one spot, and the care and the excitement they have, and I think your line was better together, and you've been saying that a lot, and how everyone worked together, it was remarkable. I mean, we even had the student council up there representing it there too. So everyone together, it was just a remarkable thing. We had the dedication. We had a 25-year veteran leaving and a 30-year veteran teacher leaving. So people stay here, they care about the district, and it was nice to see it all. So good job, and I'm glad I got to be part of it this year. So
Thank you.
And I just want to say that with that busing issue, we'll be looking into that, right?
Absolutely,
Okay,
absolutely.
great. Anyone else have comments? Okay.
I do.
Oh, sure.
This is, Ebony is the seventh superintendent that I've had the pleasure of working with.
Wow.
I just want to say, I really enjoy your superintendent's report. The length was not, it wasn't long at all, but it was in depth, and I really enjoyed it, and thank you. Encourage you to continue that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Joe, for saying that. Terrific. So item S, adjournment. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Second, Carl.
We don't need another closed session?
I don't believe we do, right? We were so efficient. We need to discuss our meeting
The
date, but we
board
don't need,
retreat.
that's not,
We can do that through
yeah,
email.
that's fine.
Okay, then second.
Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.